Welcome back. Today we are going to design a wax-up from molar to molar, and for now I just need to remove these cubes that were used in Invisalign. So let's start by doing that. The idea is to increase the length of the centrals a bit and even them out, make the midline straight and make the laterals wider, trying to make it in the right proportions. And it's gonna be from molar to molar, and he also wants to increase the width of the smile to make like a wider smile. Let's start by selecting the library. We are going to use this library, the one I've designed. You can download it for free, I'll leave a link in the description. So let's start by selecting the distal of the 16. And the distal of the 26. Usually I prefer to move them all simultaneously. Try to scale them down a bit. Something like this. And now I'm going to position this side and then I'll copy it to the other side. Let's do it individually. Now we need to make these centrals longer, because they're quite long already. Now the idea is to make the laterals wider, because they are very small, they are tiny. Whenever I want to make the tooth narrower, I like to find when the arrow, as you can see, it's completely horizontal. So it will be the proper way to make it narrower, because if I do it like this, it's going to be on an angle, and it's going to distort the shape. Now before starting, I would like to set up the frontal view. It's always very helpful. Use this line as a guide for the horizontal plane, and I'll use this one as the guide of the midline. It's so much easier to work like this. So for now I'll just position them roughly. And then I'll use the freeforming to shape them better. So if you like this type of content, don't forget to like and subscribe, and share the video with a colleague. It would be very helpful. And also, if you want to check out my ceramic work, feel free to follow me on Instagram. These premolars seem they were made for this mouth. Look at this. Okay, now let's do some freeforming. So whenever you do a box up, always make sure that it blends nicely with the emergence profile of the natural tooth, unless there is going to be a gingivectomy. Always working the line angles. Whenever I'm doing line angles, I like to go very weak, so it doesn't deform too much the tooth, and use a bigger size brush. So I use the thin tool, minimal strength, bigger size. Okay, the central is looking good for now. Gonna design the lateral. Try to make it as proportionally right as possible. So to make it wider, I'm gonna make some sharper edges. As you can see, this is a Pontic. It's a Maryland, and probably I can play around with this because it's gonna be a 2-unit bridge. So on this side it's gonna be a bit more complicated, but I see that on the mesial part of the lateral I have a bit of space to close it. I think it's looking good for now. I'll move on to the cannon. Once I'm finished on this side, I'll copy everything to the other side and see how it looks. You know, because this is a bridge here, I suppose he's gonna prep this, but let's see what I can do. The dentist is asking to do a wider smile, so I'm kind of bringing it out the posteriors, so it gives an illusion that the smile is wider. I'm gonna try to gain a bit more space for the cannon by pulling out the distal, because the cannon is quite restricted space-wise. now I'm happy with this side, and now it's time to copy everything to the other side. So basically you come to chain mode, and as you can see, the teeth changed a bit the positions. So I untick all these boxes, go back to simple, I do undo until it goes back everything to the normal position. And now I go to chain, and I'll do the symmetry. Now the position is not exactly as this side, of course, so I'll do OK, and now I'll bring up the other side, and I'll just select these ones, tooth placement, and then I can move them independently of the first quadrant. I have to do it individually, the majority of it, but it's more or less like this. So I'll try to use these lines to place them more or less in the same position. So the premolar is 1 square up, 1 square and a half, let's just say, from this line. So I come here, I know that it should go a bit higher. The second premolar is 2 squares, and the molar be around 3. So we have the same speed curve on both sides, at least we try to make them as similar as possible. Always spend some time on the posteriors, because I find some people, they neglect the posteriors, and then the premolars, everything is looking so much worse than the 6 anteriors. It's always very important to dedicate time to every tooth. I think position wise it's gonna be something like this, and now I'll do some changes with freeforming. But the neck of this lateral is a bit longer than the other one, and I'm gonna fill up this gap, and I'm gonna increase the other one to match this one. Now I'll bring up the grid forward like this. So you press Ctrl Shift R, and now I'll use the squares as a reference. So it's gonna be 2/3 the way until it reaches this one. So it's just a tiny bit longer on this one. So something like this. Because this lateral is going to be a pontic, so on this one we have more space to play around. On this one we have the limit of the neck, and I actually increased the bulkiness on the distal side, otherwise it's gonna look too weird. So we either have to push the gingiva to that side, or the dentist will have to adjust the gingiva. Just gonna hide the neck, the root of the molar, because it's showing. So let's adapt the occlusion. I'll try to bring the cusps a bit down on these parts. At this stage this isn't the most important. We are still not sure if it's gonna be a veneer lay or just a veneer.
Now just do the final touches, see if the length is correct. So here you have the before, here you have the after. We improved the shapes of the centrals, and from the centrals we defined the length of the others. The laterals needed to be longer and wider, and the smile overall had to be a bit more wide. I hope you enjoyed this. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share with a colleague. Thank you for watching.